Good afternoon. I have been researching and writing and publishing on blasphemy and its history for some 30 years. I've also had the chance during that time to advise a number of governments, including the House of Lords in England. And one of the reasons for this is because what happens with blasphemy today is firmly rooted in its history, and there are very important lessons to be learned from this. I think what's very important for us to realise is that blasphemy laws begin in states which want to regulate the opinions and the beliefs of society and to essentially regiment them in a specific direction. Now, that's a very unmodern thing to do, and most Western states realise this, and such laws all over the world are falling into disrepair, disuse, and eventually many of these are getting repealed. And we know this because in the last year, laws of blasphemy in New Zealand, for example, the law of blasphemy in Denmark, both removed from their respective statute books. So this tide of blasphemy being removed elsewhere is very, very important, because Ireland is starkly an exception, because it's not a country that has an old law waiting to be repealed as it was until 10 years ago. It's the arrival of that new law 10 years ago which really redefined the offence, gave it a big modern spin that was totally and utterly unnecessary. And as Michael has said, this sticks out like a sore thumb. It's a precedent for countries anywhere and everywhere to start creating new types of law. And we go back to what I said about origins. Such laws are there to control, regulate and oversee people rather than protect them and give them freedoms. And this new law is precisely the problem that means Ireland has brought this referendum into being. And it has to be remembered that if the government did not feel under pressure, it would not be instituting a referendum. And as Michael said, a vast bunch of international agencies, the European Commission, the Venice Commission, the United Nations Special Rapporteur, have all said to Ireland, this law is not acceptable and it does not meet with current best practice in human rights legislation and method of going about regulating your country. So really, the thing to get across, I would say, is that this law is not some part of Ireland's heritage that you would be removing at a stroke in a referendum. It's voting yes is voting yes to remove a very, very badly thought out quick fix that was instituted 10 years ago. And removing a mistake is very, very different to attacking and undermining the culture and religion of a country.